Sorry, Curse, you had a bit you were about to do.
I did have a bit that I was about to do.
Do your little bit, Curse.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Do
my
your little
bit,
boy.
Just like we agreed, everyone else, we're gonna not laugh and make him feel awkward.
I was just gonna say, as Tim Curry said when he was portraying Anatoly Cherdenko in Red Alert: Command and Conquer, this week we're escaping to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Nice!
Dude, I was trying to not laugh, and then you threw fucking Tim Curry at me. I'm like, well, there's no way I'm not gonna laugh at whatever.
Morally,
like, he could be
I'm
talking,
stuck.
Yeah.
he could be talking about Muppets. He could be talking about Rocky Horror.
Also, that was Red Alert 3, now that I think about it. It's still Command and Conquer.
Either
it's
way,
fine.
I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Actually,
Yeah, I know. He gets like comments. Sir, that was not Red Alert 1. That was Red Alert 3.
2 stars.
Boy, I hope somebody fired him.
Speaking of which, I am Curtis.
I'm Carl.
I'm Alex.
And we have a guest.
Repeat guest. Erin.
Repeat guest, Erin. Hello.
Hello.
No,
Your
not
challenge
this
coin is
Erin.
in the mail.
How have you been, Erin? How you doing?
I've been super okay. Yeah,
Super okay.
just
Very.
chilling. Yeah.
How's the FF4 been?
Also super okay.
I have glanced at some Let's Plays. I have done no
All right, good.
homework whatsoever.
Hell yeah. We are a pro no homework pod.
I remember this game as a child, so I refuse to form new memories of it.
That's the way to go. That is 100% the way to go.
Last season, you did mention that you love 4.
I love 4. 4, you never forget your first, and 4 was my first one, so. I rented it from Blockbuster like 80 times, and I was a very stupid child, so I got my older brother to beat it for me.
It's hard.
It's
a hard
very
game.
hard, and I was very stupid, and I was like 8. My older brother, thank Christ, was like, oh, I got this, so. Shout out to Josh.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Josh.
I'm guessing this was back in the day where like your save, you had to basically return it with your save progress.
Yeah, so
and hope
I
to
had
God
to.
no one overrode it before.
I had to
you got it
explain
again.
this to my dad, where I'm just like, no, you don't understand. It has to be consecutive rental. Like, I need to bring it to Blockbuster, and then I need to give them more money, and then I take it home again. I can't just I can't give it back to Blockbuster and then come back in a week. It's not how it works, man. But yeah,
It won't be there. We won't have
it's not
Kane
there.
anymore.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to start all the way over, and I had to do that twice. So
Oh boy.
Oof. Yeah, that brings back memories of that was my experience with Ocarina of Time, because I got an N64 before getting that, as like it was Christmas. I don't know how long it was, but it felt like an eternity. So every week I would just rent it from Blockbuster and hope to God I got the same cart each time. I did get lucky sometimes. I was like, my file's still here. Or like I would get a file that was completed and I would see the medallions and I was like, what the fuck is
God.
that?
what a
I
way
was
to
like,
play a game.
I was
man.
like 7 or 8, so I don't
Yeah.
think I was saying fuck, but
you were a very
I
cool kid.
definitely was. Yeah.
Darn! Poop. Poopy, as Una would say.
Where did we leave off last week? What was the last thing that we did?
So we drilled to the surface. You got Odin, and we just parked in front of Mysidia.
I didn't get Odin. I fought Odin. I tried to get Odin, but I failed at that.
You got to Odin.
I got 2 Odin. That's right, though. You're right.
I do want to quickly talk about parking in front of Mysidia, because when I was doing my homework this week, I got very scared that I was soft locked because I parked slightly to the left of Mysidia. Or no, I wasn't in Mysidia. I think I was near Troya, because I was like, I want to go and see like the gang. Like, I haven't gone back to visit Edward since he saved us that one time, and I was like, all right, you're dead to me. Just stay in bed. Fucking Grandpa Joe over here pretending like he's sick. So but I parked to the left of it, and then as soon as I moved one tile over, I was just in the town, and then I came out of the town and I was to the right of it, so I couldn't get to the ship, and I didn't realize that you can actually go like behind the castle and make your way over there. But I was trying everything. I was like, I got this. I can go and get a black chocobo. I can fly over there, and then I couldn't land the black chocobo.
Because you can't land except for in forest.
I was like, I got this. I can go and get the Enterprise that has the hook, and I can pick up the Falcon with it and move it to somewhere. And then I flew the Black Chocobo to where the Enterprise was, and I couldn't land the Black Chocobo there, and I was just like, I'm just soft locked. But no, I wasn't. But it was a. I wasn't too worried either because I have multiple saves. I wasn't like, well, that's where my playthrough ends. Golden wins, I guess.
And probably all our shit has like tons of parking tickets because we have so many vehicles.
Yeah, we've left so many things.
Yeah, my first thought was just like, damn, the PPA exists in this fucking town too. Like, they put a boot on my on the Falcon, and now I can't drive it.
Oh my god, that reminds me. They just added parking signs to the front of my house or whatever like a month ago, and I still haven't purchased my parking sticker. So who knows? I probably have a bunch of parking tickets today.
Goddamn.
Ain't that the way?
Yeah, fuck the PPA.
Fuck the PPA, stance of the pod. So, we're out front of Mysidia, which I imagine that, like, we won't be out front very long because it's, like, one tile to go up into it. So, we're in Mysidia. And,
Barely. We don't even have time we don't have time to do anything. For me, at least, like, as soon as we walk in, a cutscene starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it does
Same
in both
thing.
versions.
Yeah.
No chance to go get pigged or...
Get pigged. But yeah, the elder and his two close homies show up, right? Like immediately when we walk in, and they're kind of like there's a bit of a buzz going on, right? And they're like, "Oh, something big is getting ready to happen. You need to come with us to the Tower of Prayer right now," right? And we get transported there. And in the 3D version, it literally just begins like a cutscene right there, right?
We see the legend in the 3D version just to kind of review it from last time.
Right.
Which is, of course, birth from womb, dragon's maw, and born into the stars, and light and darkness cast aloft, and dreamtide oaths resworn. Moon is swayed, the never light, ne'er again to no eclipse, earth with hallowed bounty reconciled. And then, And then we got
Beautiful.
the cutscene to the big-ass prayer tower, which I didn't realize was in that still image, that pre-rendered thing, that we see the top of that tower with like a vortex kind of in the ether.
Yeah, that's right.
It's funny because you reading that, even with all the information that I have now after playing like the entire game, like the poetic, the cool version of the legend that you guys have still makes no fucking sense to me.
Born into the flood again.
It's like a good prog metal song. It doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
The lyrics are very like King Crimson.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. For my version, there's just like a nice like Windows 95 desktop wallpaper of the two moons, and then like just line by line it reads out the legend again, which is one born of a dragon, bearing darkness and light, shall rise to the heavens over the still land. The moon's light eternal brings a promise to the planet with bounty and grace. And I'm like, oh, okay, now that I have context, I know I can see what the legend is about, what's about to happen.
Right.
Well, the 3 version, they want to make it more believable in that if this legend's been passed down for millennia, that no one knows what the fuck it means.
Yeah.
Or just like it's a really long game of telephone and everyone's just kind of like, I'm going to add my own spin to this.
Does anyone remember the legend from Pokemon the movie 2000?
I don't.
I don't either.
I only remember the last line of it.
Is that the second movie?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's not the cool one with Mewtwo and the legendary birds. This one's got Lugia, and it's pretty good as well. The legendary birds are in this one. I don't know. Anyway, the last line of it is like, it talks about how the world is going to get destroyed when there's imbalance between the elements or whatever the fuck. And then the last line is just like, if this isn't like taken care of, the world will turn to ash. And then, like, at the end of the movie, they're like, whoa, like I felt the same way about this. I'm like, one born of darkness and light. Wonder who that could be.
Yeah.
It'd be really embarrassing if his name was not Ash. The world will turn to Steve.
Yeah, wait, I wonder what it is in the Japanese, because his name in the Japanese version is different.
What is his name? What is
Wait,
Ash
Ash?
Ketchum's name?
Yeah, Ash Ketchum, Japanese name. Satoshi.
Satoshi.
Or the world will turn to Satoshi. Wonder what that means.
Wait. Did the creator of Pokemon name the main character after himself?
Perhaps.
Oh, that's a Sigma move. I love that.
Yeah, he's got the Sigma mindset.
Self-insert,
That rocks. It's just like, oh, I have like the most expensive, like this is the single most successful creative property Nintendo's ever owned. You know what I should name the main character?
Yeah, right.
I don't know if we ever told this story on the podcast. Did we talk about it when we had Creepy Dave from the Daycare Dittos podcast on? Where he became a villain on Twitter for like a couple of days?
What?
I don't know.
Do you
What
guys? I don't know if
Satoshi
you
Kon-
guys knew him then, but there was that Y2K game that came out recently, and there was like
Yes.
a main character in it who had like he was really shitty at the start of the
Yes,
game. I guess
yes.
had character.
We talked about
development
this
stuff.
on stream, I think.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's like a promotional picture of the game of like that character with a cat on his shoulder, and
Yeah.
Dave like tweeted it out or something. It was like, wow, this character just is me, basically, because he has the same picture of him with his cat Chainsaw on his shoulder, and people on Twitter saw that and they were like, this is unacceptable, a fucking self-insert of this like this game developer, and like everyone was just shitting on Dave, and like the developers of the
It's
game
like, I
reached out
didn't
to
make
them,
the
they're like,
game.
yeah, the developers reach out. They're like, "We're really sorry, dude. We don't know." And Dave has like the worst luck when it comes to shit. So like when I saw that, I'm like, "Of course that would happen to Dave."
Poor Dave.
Incredible.
But we're on top of the Tower of Prayer.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And
I don't see stairs anywhere, but I do see we are just all there, as there's like a big, very cultish vibe going on where everyone's doing the chanty chants. And
it's cultish, but this time it's good.
who's the leader, the prayer leader here? The guy,
I think he's just called the Elder.
The
right?
Elder. Yeah.
Elderman. He just says,
Elder
"Pray
Mysidia.
now with all your heart. Prophecy must be made reality. There is no other time but now."
Well, it works too, right? Like,
I guess so.
because then like a whirlpool like appears in the ocean outside of Mysidia, and like something actually does start lifting up from the ocean, and the Elder's like, "Look, our prayers have been answered," and the Lunar Whale comes up out of the water, right?
Hell yeah.
Yes, which like I've noticed that in all the different versions I've seen of this, the Lunar Whale looks very different in every version.
Yeah.
Kind of incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no one
like-
can agree on what the lunar whale looks like.
Yeah.
Even
it's
like
unknowable. It's Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
You can't...
like I think the 14 version, like there's actually a mount in 14 of the Lunar Whale, which you can have like 8 people ride it.
Really? That's awesome.
But it's based very much on the Amano concept art. It looks like
Oh, okay.
That's
Um,
sick.
the one in Carl's game looks kind of like a creepy, like weird mantis looking thing, like a weird crustacean, like an
Yeah,
ugly
it's
ass
very-
crustacean.
It's very spooky looking. It looks very like what's it called? Geiger.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got
yeah.
glowy eyes on the front or some shit.
Mhm. In the
Um,
back, there's like a jet. So I think I described it to you guys as being pretty high up there on the goatsy scale.
I was gonna say, like this morning, I was actually gonna like read an excerpt from our Discord from this morning, where Alex says, "Man, the PSP whale has some mean eyes," and then Carl says, "Got a meaner looking butthole. This thing has a massive reading on the goatsy scale."
The highest rating on the ghosty scale is just a 0. All right, bye guys. See you next time.
Nice. Yeah.
Thank
Nice.
you. Thank you so much.
See you next time. Yeah.
The 3D version just looks like a goth cruise ship.
It does, yeah,
It
yeah,
does.
it
Pretty
does.
fucking sick.
Yeah,
This is so you know how bands always do some bands do like cruises, like the Weezer cruise or whatever,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is probably
yeah.
terrible. Or like the Coheed and Cambria one, which is probably kind of cool. This is what like My Chemical Romances would be, I think.
Ooh,
A
nice.
split between My Chemical Romance and American Idiot era Green Day would be this cruise
It
ship.
actually looks a lot like the death boat from Metalocalypse.
Oh
Just
my
like one of
God.
the-
Dude,
Oh,
I
hell
just
yeah.
did a rewatch of Metalocalypse like basically over the weekend. Like last night I got incredibly stoned and watched the entire 4th season.
That's so good.
And yeah, that's all I could think about. The second I pulled it up, I was like, holy shit, that looks... I'm not going to say anything.
It's the death boat or the death
The
sub.
lunar
whichever.
whale is just a death boat.
Yeah, it's just a death boat.
I'm due for a
Incredible.
rewatch because that show is just so fucking good.
Okay,
Less
I
Brendan
forgot
Small.
how fucking good season 4 is actually, because it had been a minute, and I'm rewatching it with someone who's never seen it before, and I'm like, oh my god, this kind of slaps though. Season 4 is really
I
good.
like when it starts getting weirdly serious. Like it's still always funny, but like and not quite like the way
Yeah, it gets
Venture
Venture
Brothers does.
Brothers-y, yeah. I don't think it disappears up its own ass quite as much.
Yeah, for sure. But no, I just remember
I love Venture Brothers, but like...
Oh, yeah, no, of course. I mean...
Like many shows, it's one of those things they stick with sketches and then towards like, okay, we actually got a little bit of runway. Let's start doing like some arcs and lore and like laying down some cool shit like world building and stuff. But we got a death boat.
We do have a death boat now. We got a great big death boat.
Just to make sure we did this before in the Final Fantasy X season, we did do a Thunder Horse reference, right? For what's it called?
For Ixion.
Ixion,
yeah.
I hope so. Okay, good.
But the elder tells us that during his prayers, he heard a voice that said, "Come hither to the moon," right? And he explains to Cecil that like, yeah, you can get on the Lunar Whale and you can take it to the moon, right? Which like I guess like the Lunar Whale is supposed to be this like ancient prophecy, you know what I mean? That like has been passed down for generations and generations. But the elder is just like, yeah, get on the Lunar Whale and there will be a control panel up front. Go to the control panel and punch these numbers in and then I'll take you to the moon. It's like, how do you know that? Like he like tells us straight up how to use it.
We don't know what this prophecy means, but we did have this really old manual.
Exactly, yeah. The prophecy is just like a fucking like just black and white manual that came with the ship.
He pulls up like a PDF. He's like trying to fuck with it. He's like,
he
it was a
GameFAQs.
JPEG and we made it a PDF and now some of it's locked and I can't open it appropriately. Let me go to the internet and have like one of these like programs that like change it from a JPEG or a PDF to a JPEG so we can read it.
Xerox too many times. You know?
Yeah.
According to the writings I've discovered, there should be a teleportation crystal on board in addition to the ancient readings. I guess there's legends of the Lunar Whale. But I guess it's good that there are crystals on board this boat. Because there's crystals all over this damn globe.
It's
and now
convenient.
They're just everywhere. They're everywhere.
This game is just chock full of fucking crystals.
It lousy with them.
I think in terms of crystal to non-crystal ratio, this one probably has the highest one in the series.
It probably does.
I think so, yeah.
They needed to make like 3 planets worth.
I remember being like, damn, there's actually 4 extra ones that we didn't know about. It makes sense because it's Super Nintendo and it's kind of similar to Final Fantasy 1. And then like with this one, I'm like, well, Jesus fucking Christ, this game just has so many goddamn crystals.
Have any of you played or beaten Final Fantasy 9?
Yes.
I have played it, yes. I haven't beaten it.
Do you all remember that the original box for Final Fantasy 9 on the back said, "The crystals are back"?
Yes.
Yeah, the crystals are back. And then you see your very first crystal in the last boss. Like as you're fighting the final boss, you're like, oh, there's a crystal in this game. And I was like, that's a very weird way to like tell
I remember
you like,
being kind of pissed off about it, actually.
Yeah.
Like as a child, where I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Like my body is ready. Crystals, please. And then
the crystals
I'm just
are back.
like, okay, there's
the
trees.
Crystals.
Okay, there's like the monkey dude. Okay, there's swords and stuff. But like, make with the crystals. And it's like,
and there's one like in the background of the last boss.
Like,
yeah,
squinting. Like,
just go play FF4. Cheese.
Yeah, they definitely should have marketed Crystal Chronicles that way. The crystals are back. This
that
time
does
we
sound
mean
like
it.
a weird like People magazine like or TV guide like cover story. The crystals are back. Like it's like a Billy Crystal like ass like.
it's like everybody in 9 in like bad big 90s suits, like leaning on a crystal.
Oh man. But did you all once you get on the ship, did you all go to the bottom of the ship?
Yes.
Yeah, what I like to actually immediately is that when you get on the ship, it's not like any previous vehicle in which we start driving it. It's like basically there's a deck that we get on.
Yeah,
and we get to decide where it goes. We decide whether we want to drive it like a normal like flying blimp or fly it to the moon, which is cool.
Right.
But on the way to like the bottom, or I guess the tail end of the ship, there's like there's the cryo chambers. Where we
instead of like beds, it has like fucking cryopods.
Okay, is that what they look
aliens.
like? Is that what they look like in the 3D version? They're actually like fucking Dragon Ball Z Saiyan pods or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, sick. Because I saw that and I was like, I went in there and that's the first thought I had. But in 2D, it's kind of hard to tell. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's just like a cool future bed or something.
It's a future bed.
In 3D, they are just like cylinders, like
oh, that's so cool.
like a back to tank or whatever.
Is this where we have the captive Fat Chocobo?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing.
It's your favorite thing.
I was like, there's already somebody on this ship, and it is Fat Chocobo, and I love him.
Hell
love
yeah.
him.
Is he just a normal Fat Chocobo in your version?
In the 2D version, he's just a normal Fat Chocobo.
In the 3D version, he's a Robo Chocobo.
That's so
Really?
good.
I didn't go down there in the 3D
What a
version.
weird change, yeah.
So, hold on, I'll share the screen with you because he's very cute. I was like, oh my god, he's so cute. He's like a little clunker.
A little clunker. Oh, he is. Oh, little baby.
Oh, I love him.
He's a little robot. He's got glowy green eyes and he's got like rivets and shit. I love him.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I hate that they did give that to us in a way that like I was going to make a joke about how that Chocobo survived on the Lunar Whale for so long, and it kind of ruined it for me. So it's gone.
He's a god bird, remember?
Oh, that's true. It's the
That
god
is
bird.
true.
Yep. He's got like a little port on his tummy too. Like it looks like it opens. Like that's where he keeps all your items.
Oh, it's
yeah.
its expanded storage deck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like to think that like the actual big Chocobo or whatever, like when it takes your items, it just jams them into like his down somewhere. He's just like, throw that one in there. That's good for later.
Gross.
All his folds.
Yeah, when you like ask for an item back, he has to like feel
Having to,
himself
like-
and be like, yeah, I got that somewhere.
But yeah,
But,
he's just there like as a reminder in the 3D version. He is you can manage your white kin there, which I have not really used him at all.
Yeah.
If you missed it, Erin, I customized his face to look like Sans Undertale. 'Cause you can draw his face in. It's really cute.
Beautiful.
There's the bestiary. I guess what else is there? There's the music box in mine. I don't know what else there is.
And the cutscene viewer.
That's right, the theater.
The theater. He just procures like a CRT from his
Maybe that's what the
feathers.
tummy is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's what his tummy is. It like flips in and out or whatever, and it's a TV on the other side.
Yeah, it's just like the car seat or something.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's kind of funny. Like I was not expecting another airship. I mean, I wasn't expecting the second airship either.
Yet another airship.
Yeah, but just another airship. But like when I heard Lunar Whale and, you know, like the prophecy and stuff like that, my brain just kind of immediately went to like Link's Awakening and like other games where there's, you know, like space whales and shit. And I was just
Skyward
like, oh,
Sword
okay,
has
that's
a big whale.
yeah. I was like, okay, it'll be something like that. And then I saw this and I was like,
Every post-rock album has whales all over it.
and I kind of felt, I was like, well, I don't know why I didn't think it was an airship, but now that I'm like thinking about it even more, I'm like, they were praying for this. Like they were like saying prayers and they're like, the Lunar Whale needs to return to us. And it's just a fucking like airship that was at the bottom of the ocean, like in the beginning of FF10.
The big prize.
Yeah, it's the big prize.
Riku would have been on this thousands of years ago.
It's just like a thick car. Like some people were praying for like a Hummer to come back.
Thick car.
Dump truck ass, yeah.
But yeah, like you were saying though, Alex, there's a lot of crystals and there's ways that we can fly it, right? There's multiple ways.
Yeah, how many crystals are in this ship? I see 5 on the flight
Yeah.
for the terrestrial traveling, and then there's 1 giant mega crystal for teleporting to the planet
Right.
or the moon.
And so we can go up to the very front and engage with the control deck. And that will allow us to like fly around the planet that we're on, right? But yeah, if we talk to the crystal in the middle though, it launches us from the Earth or whatever to
Gaia.
the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of sick. And there's a little cutscene that plays even in the SNES version when we actually like go to the moon where we see it off in the distance and then it gets real close, you know?
Yeah,
cutscenes were rare back then, so it was like a big deal.
Yeah, no, it was very cool. Like,
It's like,
enjoyed it a lot.
yes.
I'm thinking that moon theme from DuckTales.
Oh my god, can we talk about that is the best NES
Talk
thing
about
ever.
DuckTales. I've been waiting all day to talk about DuckTales.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get into time signature discourse on the moon theme on DuckTales.
No,
It's in
no.
15.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Just the first bar, though, right?
Just the intro.
yeah.
If you play it in 4/4, you're a fucking coward.
You're a cop.
I was gonna say like Alex in post put some klaxons here because it is fucking Nobuo banger alert time.
Oh my god, so good.
I will say this, I don't like, well, not that I don't like, I still like it, but I like the SNES version a lot better than the 3D version in this one case. Because I think the 3D one makes it a little more palatable, maybe. But what I really, really like about the original, like, Super Famicom SNES version of the Moon theme is that when it starts, it's so atonal and awful, and it sounds very creepy.
Yeah.
And they continue the weird atonal beeping and warbling in the background when they bring in these very nice and lush strings, and they actually all work together to make it very pretty. And it's like, it's one of the most like notationally complex tunes in this game, but it comes together and it's just like, oh, it gives you emotion. It's great. Absolutely amazing song. Love this.
It's
tune.
kind of like do you listen to Fucked Up, the punk band?
I have heard Fucked Up, but not
that reminds me of their shit, where it's like, oh, this starts out as being like, this is that kind of unpleasant, and then it's oh, actually you've got all this like harmony that's really cool.
Yeah,
it's a good way of describing it.
Hell yeah.
It's playing all the accidentals and whatnot, and then in context, it kind of starts to kind of find order in all of it. So
It's a weird song.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's
it's so
synth at the
weird and
beginning.
so good.
it's like these little, really like just unsettling chorps and stuff, almost like Atari.
Yeah,
because the Atari chip is like did not use notes; it used like just numbers for
Yeah,
frequency, so it's
yeah.
really hard to program music on it.
Yep.
So it's just very warbly, very wonky.
Yeah, it does a really good job at first of like when you first land on the moon of making it feel like it is an alien surface. You know what I mean? Like it's nonsensical, and you do kind of feel like this, like, oh boy, we're in it now. Like we are away from home. So it's a fantastic track.
I need to be totally on brand here and just say that this, when this first started, it really made me think of Lunatic Pandora from Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh yeah,
just
yeah,
with the weird
100%.
like disjointed kind of tones and stuff that then becomes more of a like cohesive song.
We're just gonna have to do FF8 soon. We're just gonna have to do it.
I mean, if people think that we're going to stop talking about Final Fantasy VIII after we talk about it for like an entire season, that is going to be our probably longest season, then they should know right now that they're wrong. It's just going to get worse after we do it.
Erin, can we count on you coming on for that season 2?
Oh God, yes. I have changed my opinions on Final Fantasy VIII about a dozen times in my life, and I'm willing to go for another one. I'm like, I hate it. Actually, I kind of love it. I hate it
we'll
again.
have you on multiple times, like a correction episode.
Yeah, in a couple months, I'll change my mind again. So it'll be great.
Oh, yeah.
I do kind of I do really like Final Fantasy VIII though. I think.
Yeah, it's
for
good.
now. Yeah.
For now. So the moon, I would say, the moon is the largest difference in difficulty that we've seen yet.
Oh yeah.
I feel like this is where the game starts
Definitely.
becoming a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah, Baby Erin was not good at this. This was the point at which
Yeah.
I was like, we're gonna have to pull out the big guns, and there's no internet, so I'm gonna have to find someone else who's played this game.
Did you all see The Man on the Moon?
Yeah.
I did not
There's
see the
one
Man on the
little
Moon.
there's like one little face in the northern part of the map. I'm not sure if it's in all versions or not.
I think it's
Really?
when was the face on Mars discovered? It looks very much like that.
Like 2 years ago.
Is there a face on Mars?
Yeah, this little
see.
guy here.
Oh, I did not see that. Were you able to get down to it?
I didn't land there. I was like trying to figure out where to go because I was intimidated by the size of this damn place. Because like, where do I
Yeah.
start? Where
Hell
do
yeah.
I start?
So the moon itself is not that large, but the issue is that the Lunar Whale cannot park on all of it, right? So there's like a craterous, like a lower surface to the moon,
Hit the wrong button.
and then there's like a series of plateaus, right? And the Lunar Whale can park on the plateaus, but it can't on the other surface, even though like the other surface
Sometimes.
makes up most of
Yeah,
the
there's like
the ground.
one spot where you can park on like the surface of the moon,
Oh,
but I
really?
don't know why. Yeah, it doesn't like give you like a faster way of getting to where you need to go, but
Okay.
it's like I found like one spot.
It's
Okay.
It's all cheese.
Yeah, it's all cheese down there. But so the idea is like there is one location on the moon, right? That's like it stands out big time because there's a giant crystal palace on the moon, just like real life. It's just on the other side; you can't see it. But
It's the Nazi
There's-
space base, yeah.
it's the Nazi space bunker. That's
Yeah.
right. But you can't park anywhere near it. So there's actually a series of caves that you can see, and you can kind of see them and reason out where the caves lead by like what little plateaus they're connected to, and work your way back and find a location that you can park on. Start there, and then go through like a series of 2 or 3 caves to get to the palace.
Yeah, you can do what I did, which was immediately use Sight or whatever it is in whichever version where you can see the world map, and then immediately see a bunch of little dots that correspond to locations and being like, holy fucking shit, how big is this game? Because I felt the same way when I got to the underworld. I was like, oh my god, this has way more like depth than I thought it did. And then I got here, I was like, holy shit, are these all towns? But like, luckily, this is just kind of like a big dungeon that has like an overworld itself, more or less.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like we did something like that in FF1 where there was like a trial which there basically was like a miniature version of the overworld, and we had to kind of find our way to the end of it. I forgot what that was for.
I'm trying to remember. I'm wondering if it was the GBA bonus shit.
Though I know the Bahamut's area in FF1 was like spread out along several caves on the overworld.
Gotcha.
That is true, yeah.
But either way, the way I was able to figure it out through obviously Googling is like, okay, we can't enter through the back of the crystal because you can kind of approach it from behind, but you can't enter it. So there's a cave just like north of it where you see kind of 2 caves, like kind of almost like one north and one south, and you can get to the one on the south side of this ridge, and then that'll kind of get you to a short kind of little dungeon.
Yeah.
Right.
And these enemies here, they pack a punch.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. There's a little like
Black Flan.
The Black Flan, there's multiple kinds of flans here. They all need like magic to take care of.
There's those moon bombs. I don't know what they're called, but they're like the bombs, but they got sporous looking heads.
The real rough ones for me, at least in the 3D version, were those like, I don't know, they look like bacteria or something, like like little like
the eukaryotes. Eukaryotes. Lucarios.
It's a multicellular organism, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. They look like eyeballs or something, just kind of ripped out of like. They look like a removed appendix, kind of floating around.
They would punch me for so much HP that it would one-hit KO my characters, and I was like, oh my god. And they would move really fast, too. So I'd get into a battle with like 3 of them, and then after like 2 turns of theirs, my entire party would be dead. I'd be like, oh my god. Like, these guys are rough. So, but I was able to survive them a little bit more if I could get Rosa to cast Protect first. Then I stand a chance against them, but like it was not easy. It was a matter of like, oh, maybe I can get like Leviathan off like twice, and that'll win the fight for me. But like, it's rough. These enemies are rough.
I don't know how. I feel like my playthrough of it is very much like tempered by the fact that I have all of like the additional summons and stuff. Like I feel like if I went through this without getting those, I would just have to level grind here. Like and. Luckily, before this, I did level grind Rydia up to level 45 so she could get Thundaga. So that way I could actually get Odin, who I've used like once maybe because it seems like Leviathan's a better summon anyway. But like I was pretty much just like in okay shape to make it through most of these battles either by running away or getting Leviathan to cast. But yeah, this area is rough.
What was there any additional dialogue when you beat Odin?
I think he was just like, "Oh, you've proven yourself. Okay. You can summon me at any time, Rydia."
Okay,
something like that. Nothing like major. Yeah.
Yeah, but the caves are pretty barren. There's nothing really in them, right? Like we can pretty much just walk through.
I had a real panicked moment because I was walking around the surface after a battle and realized I was dying. I'm like, oh shit, could we not breathe up here? I just realized that like almost after every fight, I'm either paralyzed or poisoned or some shit.
Yeah. They a lot of the enemies cast they do an attack that makes you silenced and poisoned at the same time.
Oof.
Ugh.
Yeah, you need to learn the breath.
Wait, this is the point where you get the lunar curtain, though, isn't it?
Probably so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lunar curtain in the first cave.
I think there's a couple chests here and there that have those, yeah. And a lot of the enemies will drop lunar curtains, which is really helpful.
Yeah,
there's also a lot of
incredibly helpful.
Golden apples around the planet, too. Have you noticed that?
Yes, that is true. Yeah, that is true. You can find golden apples.
I did find one of those, yeah. And that what does it do in your game? Because in mine, it raises maximum HP by 100, I think.
Same here.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, same.
On the moon.
I used all my apples up on Rydia, so.
Yeah, I just started throwing, like, I've pretty much done what I've done in, like, almost every Final Fantasy that I've played, where I'm like, well, the female characters are always the best, so I'm going to level them up the most. Like, I'm just like, I'm a Rydia main now, just because she fucking rules. The same way I was with Yuna.
Yeah, well, I guess my logic behind that was like, from the get-go, Rydia has the least HP, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, giving her additional HP will make her stronger, and I only need Rose's spells when I need them. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm damaged or if I'm trying to do a strat. So, like, I'm not necessarily, like, mowing through her MP the entire time. But with Rydia, her best attribute is going to be her black magic and her summons. So I'm always just mowing through MP. So I also give her the MP increasing items as well. So I felt like Rydia was a good place to put those items.
Nice. But yeah, after the there's the first cave, which is the Lunar Tunnel West. Then we emerge and we walk to the east, and of course we go through the Lunar Tunnel East, which is much shorter.
Yeah.
And then we immediately find ourselves near a cave that basically just goes directly into the castle, but from the front.
Right. And yeah, it's a castle. It's kind of made out of like the same like floor that the crystal rooms are made out of, right?
Maybe they started from the moon. Who knows?
Maybe they started from the moon. We might find that out here in just a second, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
It also just occurred to me that this is going to be a very short episode.
Do we want to take a break here, or
we can take a break here because you know why? There's two little panels on either side of the intro room. One you step on, it heals all your HP. One you step on heals all of your MP. So maybe we should just hang out on those panels for a little while.
Like little atriums.
I think in mine, I could be wrong about this. I could have just not been reading, but I thought the one on the left did HP and MP, and then the one on the right did only MP. And I thought
I saw that too, but I was like, no, I must have been wrong.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
That's funny because I thought I saw that as well, but I was like, no, that doesn't make any sense. I probably just read it wrong.
There's Moon Coke and Diet Moon Coke.
So yeah, let's
is Moon Pepsi okay?
Let's take a break there, and we will reconvene momentarily.
So yeah, I think we were just talking about how there's not really too much on the moon, at least for like the critical path. But do we want to take a minute to just kind of discuss the optional side dungeon?
I wouldn't mind doing that
right here. Yeah, it's called the Lair of the Father.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, we can talk about that. Now, cards on the table. I did not do this, but I've done it before in the past. So
I will recommend for the listeners, wait until after this next cutscene because
yeah, that's a good point. I did not do that.
It's much easier if you do it after this cutscene because we're about to meet someone.
Yeah.
Oh wait, okay. Do we want to do it in that order then?
I think we should. Yeah, I was thinking that this locks us into like a cutscene that then.
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay. What I did was that was the first place I went, and then I just continued to get my ass kicked because I only had 4 party members and was just getting destroyed by all the various moon critters that are here.
Those moon shit.
And it's a pretty rough thing. So I dipped in, I got some whatever chests and stuff, and then I just went back out and was like, well, let's see what else this place has to offer, and I'll stop back over here.
Right.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right. So in this crystal palace that we're in right now, right? There is a
crystal room.
A crystal room. But before the crystal room, there
was a rock.
And under the rock, there was a rock lobster. There's like not a pedestal. What the hell would you call it? There's like a small rise with some stairs leading up to it.
A dais?
A dais, you might say. And on top of that dais is an old man. Just chilling.
Yeah, he's just hanging. I was like, oh my god, Tella.
He's got an elegant beard.
Who's this slinky dude?
Slinky dude.
Who is this man? I also like that he's got...
This looks like Burns when he says, I bring you love.
Looks like Mr. Burns when he tells Smithers to get into the model airplane.
I was going to say in the casino episode, that's what he looks like. Yeah, I said get in. Yeah, but there's an old man here.
Yeah, we just see that question mark says, thank you for coming.
Can I help you guys with anything?
Yeah. Just looking around? Anything I can help you find? But he introduces himself as Fusoya, which I really like in the original version. Every other letter is capitalized. So like the
Hell
F, the
yeah.
S, and the Y is
Ooh,
capitalized.
so, yeah.
For my entire life, up until maybe a year or two ago, I was like, it's got to be an abbreviation for something.
Yeah, because of the way it's like
Yeah.
acronymed out.
Very weird.
Or it's like something like the Japanese characters or something that were just like translated
Maybe.
specifically. I was wondering about the etymology of his name because it's, I mean, other than the fact that he's like a moon man, so he can have whatever kind of fucking name.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fusuya, it looks like, is the Japanese one. So instead of so, it's Su.
Okay.
Fusuya. Okay.
But yeah, he's an old moon man.
Fu and Shu are Chinese words that respectively mean good fortune. He does kind of have like a Fu Manchu kind of look to him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the Course of Nomura art makes him look like a fucking the Great Wave with a face.
The Nomura art?
Nomura,
Alright.
the Amano art.
Oh yeah, the Amano art
No.
owns.
Nomura
actually.
art is just boots. It's all boots.
Oh my
Several
gosh,
belts.
yeah. He does just look like a big wave.
This was during Amano's really like interpretive phase, where it's like, what if I just drew metaphors?
Hell yeah.
Nobuo was like, yo, dude, check this shit out. Like, just like playing on like Yes and like some like Palmer and shit like that. And it's like,
Yes.
dude, yes.
He's like, okay, the character that you're about to introduce, that you're gonna draw here, listen to the shit that I wrote for like the area that he's in. He just plays all the dissonance and Amano is just like, yeah, I'm gonna make him look like a fucking wave.
4 is really the Tarkus of the Final Fantasy series.
I love Tarkus.
That's a joke that very few listeners are gonna get, but the ones who do, they're gonna love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Roger Dean. That's who does the art. I was part of my brain was stuck on who the artists for the Yes album covers are. Roger Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fucking rules.
Fantastic.
I have an art book of his.
Really?
Oh,
That's sick as fuck.
Hell yeah.
This
Somewhere.
dude looks like he would listen to Yes, like for sure.
Yeah, hundo.
So yeah, he introduces himself as Fusoya, the guardian of the Lunarians, right?
Mm.
And he kind of like explains like their background, I guess.
I'm a Lunarian.
I'm a Lunarian. Jedi mind tricks don't work on me.
Do you guys think this character was just based off of Rick Wakeman? Like, or like, is he like always dressed as a wizard and shit?
God, if only that were me.
That's true.
But depending on the version of the game that you're playing, you get a little bit. This comes off a little bit differently depending on which version you're playing. If you're playing like the 3D version, he says that a long time ago there was a planet in between the red planet and your planet, and a great behemoth came to us and like destroyed our world, right? And if you're playing the, I think, PSP version, he says the planet in between Mars and Jupiter. And I was like, oh, that's very specific. Or like one of the versions says that, yeah.
I don't think he said that in the version that I'm playing on my Vita.
Okay.
But
It's one of the versions he says that, and I was like,
I think in
oh,
the original it's Mars and Jupiter.
Okay. Yeah. And I was like, oh, so that's just the Earth then. Okay. All right, I mean, not the planet, but like, that's where we are.
Wait, Earth and Jupiter, that's the other side.
Yeah, it's the other side. It's the other side. It would be like in the asteroid belt.
so we are to believe that in the Final Fantasy IV universe, when it was, translated for SNES, not only does William Shatner exist in this world, but also potentially Third Rock from the Sun. So maybe French Stewart can come into play at some point.
Come on the podcast.
Friend of the show, French too.
That's right. But yeah, so he says that like their planet was being destroyed, and so they had to find a new planet to live on, right? And a planet that they found that they could live on was the Earth, but it wasn't like ready for them. Like there hadn't been like the process of evolution had not gone far enough at the time that they needed it, that they were unable to use the Earth, right?
Yeah.
So they created a second moon for the Earth, which is the reason why Earth has 2 moons in Final Fantasy IV. So yeah, we created the second one, and all the Lunarians now sleep below the surface, waiting for the day that we could treat each other as equals.
Same.
Wait, I'm
Yeah.
confused. Why did they create a second moon?
They created a second moon because they needed somewhere to be until the Earth was evolutionarily ready for them to live on.
So it's basically made a habitable moon instead of just living on
But
the actual
they
moon.
can create a planet, but
Yeah.
Yeah, they were like, this planet is ideal, but we're not going to be imperialist and shitty. We're just going to wait until these racist assholes on this
I was going to
blue
say, I was
planet,
like, it's
like-
incredibly generous of them to not like,
Yeah.
annihilate our species.
Mhm.
They're like, shit, we're going to roll our own.
They're like the that episode of fucking Simpsons where Flanders like, yeah, you would have done the same for me after Homer's like, yeah, you saved my life. Oh, you would have done the same for me. And they're like, yeah, we waited until you were evolved enough so we could trade each other as equals. You would have done the same for us. And we're like, yes, of
Absolutely.
course. Yeah.
But then there's some other dude, right?
Yeah, they say there is a Lunarian though, that while they were sleeping, he was like, oh, I don't want to do, we should just go down there and kill them all and just
I don't
take
want
the
to go
planet.
to bed.
I don't want to go to bed. You can't make me. I'm not tired. And he really wanted to go down to the planet, annihilate life on the planet, and start over, right? And like take the planet for themselves.
He got super into Machiavelli, the prince.
Yeah.
This is the plot of Prometheus,
Is it the plot of Prometheus?
basically.
I saw Prometheus and I don't remember the plot because it was confusing. But Michael Fassbender's good.
Erin's just shaking her head like,
he's
no.
so good in that, and the rest of that movie
He's
is
so
just
good.
Aesthetically,
noise.
I like the movie a lot.
oh,
It's
aesthetically, it's amazing.
Yeah.
but it's just like, yeah, it begins with like marble statue giants like starting life on Earth and then leaving, and then you find out that like they were gonna come here to just blow us all up or some shit, and we actually woke them up, and then they were like, oh no, we gotta stop them before they nuke Earth with aliens or whatever, with the bad goo.
You always gotta watch out for that bad goo.
Yeah.
But
I do
But yeah,
like
so
that
basically-
the two scientists are basically just getting stoned and horny together in that movie, and they're like gonna try to pet an alien snake. I'm like, dude, it's cool. Check it out. Like, the movie's stupid.
Stance of the pod.
yeah, that's right, yeah. But yeah, this one Lunarian, right? He was like so vehement about it that he was like willing to be violent, and Fusoya was forced to force him to sleep, right? But his will is so strong, and he's such like a strong, I guess, like sorcerer or whatever, that his will actually like he can basically gain strength while he's asleep and force his will on like living creatures on the planet below.
Yeah.
And so the party's like, oh shit, that's who's controlling Golbez. So Golbez isn't even like the one behind it all, right? Like he's being controlled just as he was controlling other people.
This is another fucking Garland situation.
Yeah, another Garland chaos
Yeah.
thing, yeah.
hmm
There's always just a bigger fish.
I like how you described that, Curtis, because it just made me think of Ben Stiller in Happy Gilmore when he's talking to Happy Gilmore's grandma, and he's like, "No, you will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
You can trouble me for a nice warm glass of shut the hell up."
Oh, your fingers hurt? Well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
You know
So
that
Edge
Mista lady? I think I just killed her.
So Edge is like, yo, who is this guy? And Fusia explains he's Zemus. He plans to use the crystals, our source of energy, to restore the Tower of Babel and bring down the Giant of Babel to annihilate life on Earth. So that's kind of like the answer to a lot of like what the game has been about thus far. That Golbez is like, oh, there's an ancient power on the moon. We have to get these crystals to go to the moon to be able to get this ancient power, right? And we're now told that like the ancient power is actually like it ends up being like a Gundam mech. It's the Giant of Babel, right? And it's like contained within the Tower of Babel, and its point is to annihilate all life on Earth.
Yeah, I like that Rose's response to that is just insane, ... which like when I'm reading it, just like when in the moment I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But when I'm reading it back, it just looks like I imagine her just like flipping through her phone, only half paying attention, realizing there's a break in conversation, being like, shit, that's insane.
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, damn, that shit's crazy.
I've already hit him with the 3, damn, dude, that's crazy, and he's still talking.
Damn, Zemus, that shit's crazy.
Yeah.
Just found out about Zemus.
Big if true.
It makes me wonder though that like, why did if the Lunarians in general, if all of them were like, yeah, we're not gonna destroy this planet, we're gonna wait, then why did they build a giant tower with like a death Gundam inside to annihilate all life on Earth?
Yeah, you can
just in
never be
case, I
too
guess.
sure.
There was another gift that we were there. There was another legend where they were going to summon the big lunar giant.
It was gonna be it was a present, okay? We're gonna come down from the moon and be like, look what we got you.
The second anniversary is the giant. Everyone knows this.
What if this is just like the long con that France is playing with the United States?
I was gonna say
And the
that. That's
Statue of
exactly what I was
Liberty.
gonna say next. The Statue of Liberty is actually a giant death mech that like the French gave us. Like,
France
hundreds of years
is
ago.
waiting for America to not be the fucking worst, and like the whole thing with freedom fries really put us back. Like we are dangerously close to being annihilated by Lady Liberty.
Hot.
It makes so much sense. Hot. God, I wish that were
Step
me.
on me, giant bronze lady.
Yeah. Also, the "Don't tread on me" thing is not playing in our favor either.
No.
Trident.
Please step on me, Statue of Liberty.
It's weird that there's this one bad dude. Like Lunarians are like, we're waiting for y'all.
One
to,
bad dude.
There's just one huge piece of shit.
Yeah.
So they immediately come off the bat saying like, oh yeah, we're much more like mature and evolved. But there is still one guy who still wants to just destroy everything.
Yeah.
It's a little
Yeah.
more crazy.
Except for this one asshole. Actually,
We don't like working with him either, but what can you
yeah,
do?
I was thinking about it. I was like, like this game, obviously to like the inhabitants of the earth, like this is like the apocalypse and it's enormous, right? But like it really just comes down to one salty dude. Like
Yep.
like it's like, oh, it's kind of like minor in a way. Like if you are a Lunarian, right? Like the fate of the earth is kind of like, oh, that sucks. I hate that this one guy did that. Like, but like, what are you gonna do, I guess? So like stakes for us incredibly high. Stakes for the Lunarians not very high.
Yeah, they get to end nap time early if he succeeds. And they're like, dude,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
fucked up.
Yeah, they would like come out of sleep and be like, it's kind of messed up, man. I don't appreciate that you did that, but like, it's all in the past, I guess. Yeah, this crazy guy, you gotta watch this guy.
But yeah, we hear that we asked like, okay, what's the deal with the Lunar Whale though? And it was like, oh yes, my younger brother Kluya built that vessel long ago and flew to the blue planet.
Kluya.
Kluya.
I would like to point out as well that in the original version, it's capital K, capital L, lowercase u, capital Y, lowercase a.
Maddening.
That's some real like Cal-El bullshit, I feel like.
It reminds me of like the early 2000s anime forum thing where people did alternate caps.
Yeah.
Do you guys
yeah.
remember that?
Yeah. Oh,
You have
yeah.
to have like lowercase x, uppercase x, underscore,
Oh,
alternating
dark times.
caps, underscore, uppercase x, lowercase
If you
x.
don't have the lowercase uppercase X's, no one will know you like music.
It's
right.
very fancy, yeah.
Yeah.
The end caps, the rosary.
The end caps.
Kluya.
Anyway,
Yeah, Kluya built this ship and flew it to Earth. He took with him several of our secrets, such as ones employed on your Devil's Road and in airships. A
I
gift to
love
your
that.
people.
I love that like the explanation for like why Final Fantasy like games are like ye old English like, magic and fucking swords and shit, but also there are just airships and like advanced technology is that like, oh yeah, this guy just gave you some of that stuff.
Literally
Whatever.
ancient aliens. Just the
That
ancient
was us,
aliens.
man. We did that.
Yes, the aliens got aliens.
Yeah.
Kluya was fascinated by your planet and wished to know more of it. And while he was there, he fell in love with a woman of your planet, and they gave birth to, 2 children?
Two
Is that
children.
correct?
What, like 2? Like, that's what he says. He's like, like 2 kids.
Sorry, I missed a screenshot. I was taking a screenshot every
Yeah,
time
yeah.
I missed one.
Yeah, he says she bore 2 children.
She bore 2 children. One of them was you.
Oh, and so Cecil is actually a Lunarian, or at least half Lunarian. And he says, then that voice at Mount Ordeals was, and the Fusoya is like, the spirit of your father, no doubt. You resemble Kluya. So, like, that is the answer to that as well. So there's all kinds of answers coming out this episode.
So that makes Fusoya Cecil's uncle, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
uncle.
So
So we are literally using the power of uncle magic to save the world.
My uncle
power
works
of
on the moon.
uncle
He's going to
magic.
kick your ass.
my uncle works at the moon.
Uncle Fusoya, you
Not
never
at
come
NASA,
visit.
the moon.
Yeah, the moon, yeah. He says, Kluya gave you his power to fight Zemus. We must stop him for the sake of our two races. Now let us depart for the Tower of Babel. And Edge tells us, he's like, oh, well, the tower's shielded. We can't get in. He goes, oh, I can neutralize the barrier. No sweat. So come, we have little time. And then we get Fusoya in the party.
Fuck yeah. I love that his class is just Lunarian.
Yeah, yeah.
The name Zemus, I was trying to think of why it just, like, first of all, bad guys always have Z's in their name.
True.
But, like, specifically, this sounds like a, like, Zemus sounds like a, like, space Amish.
Space Amish.
Space
That's right.
Amish.
That's my ideal aesthetic.
It's my brother Zemus.
I should have brought the space Amish energy to that time I was on Orange is the New Black as an Amish guy. The hair and makeup guy did say I looked goth Amish, which I was so fucking down for.
Goth Amish is great aesthetic, yeah.
Yeah, because I kept like part of my beard still up there with like the mustache shaved, and I was like, shouldn't I get rid of this? And he was like, yeah, I guess that's not really Amish looking, but that kind of, he's like, you could be like the goth Amish in the town. I was like, you don't know how
awesome.
happy it makes me that you said that. Yeah.
There's always a black sheep.
But yeah, so we have Fusoya now. He has access to all black magic and all white magic, including Medio. MF can just cast Medio.
Like it's nothing.
Like it's not. He didn't even have to climb the mountain ordeals to get
Dude,
this.
he didn't even
just knew
have
it.
to die.
Dude could just
Rip
rock
to
that
Tella, but I'm different.
I will say that.
Well,
Did either of you
speak for
or
yourself?
Did,
My Rydia can cast Meteor, no problem too.
did you try to cast Meteor?
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Did you notice anything about Meteor?
No.
Like maybe it's slow as fuck.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the cast time on it. Yeah.
Yeah, like
yeah, the meteor's gotta come from somewhere.
He also has Flare and Holy, so I'm
does.
like, I was trying to think of like when would I use Meteor instead of Flare, but Flare you can't cast on an entire party, but Meteor you can. So I was like, oh okay, makes sense.
Meteor's a really good spell. Does a hell of a lot of damage. Hits all the enemies. But it does
think I
cost
did quad
99
nines.
MP.
Did you say damn witch?
I didn't mean to, but now I meant to. Well, does a hell of a lot of damage. Hits all the enemies.
So sorry.
I'm thinking about dinner after the podcast. I'm gonna go get a damn witch.
Yeah, so I think now we just have like free reign to walk around, right?
Rock on
Yes,
the moon.
right. Now, as soon as when we next use the crystal on the Lunar Whale, we are stuck into the plot toward the end of the game. Basically, like once we hit that crystal, it is from here until the end, pretty much.
Much like the last episode. Like we only had one time to get that frying pan to get.
Yeah, this is the
summons.
nucleus on Sin or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I think that's pretty much where we are now. So,
but we can walk around, and in the crystal room, there's a back room that has 8 more fucking crystals.
Yeah.
It's very similar to like the 8 what's it called? The 8 like elders in Final Fantasy 1, where it gives you a little bit more lore. You don't get a canoe after talking. But,
about to say.
Game is busted.
I do have the dialogue here. I thought it was pretty interesting, so give me 1 second.
Where does this whale come from?
Who built it?
I guess so.
Yeah, Kluya built it, and then...
Are there whales on the moon, Carl?
Yeah, but I'll just go around. I didn't take pictures of it, so I'm just going to be doing this in real time, so it might be a little slow.
You
for me to
recited
read it.
this. You
Alex,
memorized it.
Yeah, be sure you sprinkle in the cool crystal prelude music now. We are the crystals of the moon. Oh my god, I just tried walking up the steps with Iridia and missed both, hit both railings before I could go up. The 8 corresponding crystals on the blue planet help us to sustain the moon's balance. We surround the entrance to the central core where Zemus lives. God damn, these things are kind of far away. Zemus casts a field from within to seal the path to the core. Zemus used Golbez to gather the blue planet's crystals and amplify their energy at the Tower of Babel. We, the 8 crystals of the moon, have sealed Zemus. Even in captivity, Zemus continues to intensify the power of his will, which I think Curtis had mentioned earlier. And the Lunarians sleep deep within the core. Fusoya has protected them for eons, which I thought was pretty cool.
These crystals are chatty.
I like the idea that Fusoya sealed Zemus in the planet's core, and then Zemus was like, well, I'll show him. I'll create a seal so no one can get into the planet core. And it's like, well, that doesn't do anything.
You can't fire me. I quit.
yeah. It, like, basically, like, Fusuya, like, threw him into a room and then, like, deadbolted it from the outside. And then Zemus was like, well, then I'll deadbolt it from the inside. Take that.
This will come in handy in several thousand years. I just know it.
Yeah, right.
I'm not locked in here with you.
Yeah. You're trapped out there. Or whatever.
Yeah. I'm not locked inside. You're locked outside.
It's the classic sitcom gag of drawing a line down the middle of the apartment and being like, you have to stay on your side.
Oh, Zemus. Oh, we haven't even met Zemus, and I'm like, you goofy guy.
You goofy Gus.
It's like when Homer does it, but it's just stuck in the corner.
Yeah. I like it once again. It feels very weird to me because it also just kind of makes Zemus feel like a guy. like the ultimate bad guy in FF4 is just a guy.
I mean, I guess it's a smart move. If you're going to start wrecking shit from inside the room, you might as well lock it from inside the room so no one's like, hey, cut that out.
Yeah.
I also just revisited the tile that we were talking about, and it's HP restored and status effects removed. So I think I conflated that with also
okay.
MP.
I got you.
That makes way more sense.
So one's a hospital, one's just ether.
So, Carl, you were saying that there is some extra stuff to do on the moon before
To
we
the
leave.
east side of the moon.
Yeah, and interestingly, this is the first time, or no, I guess this is different from the underground where you can actually, like on the main overworld, you can fly around the entirety of the moon, but it's much smaller than like the Earth itself or whatever. So it's pretty
the moon,
quick.
Baby.
Yeah, so it's pretty quick to get around. I did also find something out while researching this, that there is a glitch where you can lose the Lunar Whale.
Oh, no.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm going to read here from the fandom, where the glitch occurs when the player parks the Lunar Whale somewhere on the moon, enters the Lair of the Father, which is the area we're about to talk about, and walks around the moon after exiting. When walking around the moon, the Lunar Whale will appear on the map, but is nowhere to be found in the actual game, and there will be no way to board it. The only way to find the Lunar Whale again is if the player can remember which direction they went around the moon from, and then go back the way they came. Once going back the same way, the Lunar Whale will reappear and can be boarded. If the player has walked around the moon several times and cannot find the Lunar Whale, they may be stuck on the moon forever.
Oh my god.
That's real.
So,
wow.
This reminds me of that fucking multi-dimensional Super Mario 64 speed strat where he's like flung himself to multiple like map repetitions like left or whatever. So every time we go around the moon, we're actually not going around the moon. We're going into another like parallel dimension of the moon, basically. And we've left the Lunar Whale in a parallel dimension. And you have to remember how many dimensions away you are in either direction, I guess.
That's amazing.
Yeah, apparently you can reset the glitch, and it will respawn once you have recruited Fusuya. But if you have already gotten him, you kind of just have to like... It's like the Lost Woods, like you have to go through the correct way in order to get back to it. Because I guess the way it works with just scrolling through the map is probably just like it's not like an actual sphere that you're scrolling. You're just kind of going through, so it like doesn't handle that well.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. But yeah,
I wonder if that happens on the 3D version too.
I think it's only in the 2D version.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, some versions of Final Fantasy IV. So who knows?
So what's this place called?
It's called the Lair of the Father, which I was like, oh shit, are we going to meet like Cecil's father? And then it just turns out that it's the father of the Eidolons.
Yeah, so the east side of the moon, which I guess is just, there's a donut, and inside that donut is a donut hole. Inside that donut hole is the Lair.
Yeah, it's for the most part just kind of difficult in the same way that the other parts of the moon are. I think there's only 3 levels to it, and then you make your way to like the optional boss fight here. But on the way there are 3 tiles that force an encounter with a behemoth.
God damn.
And at first it seemed super rough. Yeah, you can't escape from it, and you see a behemoth, and you've played Final Fantasy before, so you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, right.
Especially when your HP is probably kind of low just because of walking through and having to fight the moon enemies.
Yeah.
But behemoth in this game is very slow. He won't really, or at least in my version, he won't really attack you unless you're sitting there for like literally like a minute or 2.
Oh, interesting.
But he'll always counterattack. So when you attack him, when you attack him, he'll counterattack just a random person in your party. So my strat for this was pretty much just like let people get knocked out and then use Phoenix down because HP doesn't really matter because he mostly like one-shots. And just like go to town with Cecil and maybe Edge.
I think I saw online somewhere that you can cast Blink on yourself and Blind on him or something like that.
Yeah. So there is a strat where you can use Blink and he won't hit you. Use Protect so he doesn't hit as hard. And just summon Eidolons because he won't counter that, apparently.
Oh, interesting.
So
I was able to use Shadowbind on him.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I haven't used that.
Which is really good. It basically paralyzed Behemoth for almost half the fight. So he was able to just not move for...
You know what?
So I can just wail on him.
That reminds me. We didn't talk about Fusoya's extra skill that he has. Bless up. Bless the crystals. Damn right. He basically can cast Bless, and it's like Regain. Regen.
Regen.
Regan.
Oh, no.
Regran? Yeah, I know.
That's going to set us back from having the Lunarians contact us for a while.
Raul Regen is definitely like a DJ name, right?
But basically, it's like Regen for your MP.
Oh, is that for MP? I saw that it was only doing 10 each time, and I was like, oh, that's not really worth it.
Yeah, it's for your MP.
This is a spell that should have been in every other Final Fantasy game.
I can't believe that there's not.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Damn.
Love that. But yeah, tell me about Bahamut, because I didn't actually do it.
Yeah, well,
Dragon Daddy.
Importantly with Behemoth, there's 3 of those forced encounters. Again, pretty free if you know the strats, and it will drop 65,000 gil every time you defeat one, which is insane. So I was just like, okay, I don't need to worry about money anymore in this game. Which I mean, at this point, I pretty much didn't anyway. But
yeah, I've gotten what was it? He also sometimes casts what was the Maelstrom? Was another move that he sometimes casts. The Behemoth.
It might be Tornado or Maelstrom or whatever it is.
Maelstrom is rough because it'll pretty much just almost kill any of your
it brings you down to a single digit.
It's rough.
Yeah.
So even though I have a cheated save to make this easier for me, it was still really hard getting through here.
Yeah, it was pretty much like this. These fights for me was just like Phoenix down check, basically.
I couldn't use a cottage or a tent in here. I guess you need to
Yeah, because there's no save point. So that's one tricky thing is I got all the way to the end, and I figured that this would be the same sort of thing as any of the other Eidolon fights where you can kind of say you want to challenge them, but it just threw me right into the fight with Bahamut, and I was just like, oh shit. There's 2 children that are standing at the staircase near him, and they're basically they're you're not worthy to talk to the the king of Eidolons.
What business have you with the first sire, hallowed father of the Eidolons? It says one. Half here at home, half from it parted. You are an interesting creature.
Oh, cool. So yeah, it basically just tells you Cecil's heritage, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But
it'd be weird if I wonder if he came here before meeting Fusoya. What
it would probably be the same. It would probably be the same dialogue, and then you're just like, I don't know what the fuck that means, and then you're like, oh,
also
okay.
when I talk to Bahamut, he does say, so you have enlisted the aid of Leviathan, but power such as his can be won without Light's gift. Only the ultimate trial can determine if that most sacred force truly rests within you. So I'm curious, if you came here without Leviathan,
would you be able to fight him, owner?
Yeah. Well, it's actually speaking of when Rydia's speech bubble when we're in the pause menu was is this the place Leviathan spoke of?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Huh.
There's a lot of little things oh yeah, all these optional things that could totally tie together. But if we came here, what would the dialogue be like if we've just never had another single optional Eidolon before this?
I see you like Castlevania.
Yeah. Gives us the Psycho Manus treatment.
Yeah, it's fun.
Put your DS on the floor. I will
cause it to vibrate.
Yeah, I'll make it move. All right, how about that fight? Tell me about it.
Pretty free.
Oh, really?
Or less. It's basically know the strategy and you win. Because he'll just do a countdown for Mega Flare.
Yeah.
And you
that
can
old
reflect
chestnut.
Mostly won't kill everyone. It's fine.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but you can also just cast Reflect. Like the strat is
You
basically
can reflect Mega Flare.
Yeah, you cast Reflect. What I fucked up, to kind of illustrate how free it was in my version, I fucked up and accidentally did the thing where I'd already cast Reflect on someone, and then I tried casting Reflect again, so it just reflected Bahamut, and I was like, oh no. I was like in panic mode because I was like, I thought I would have a choice. I thought there would be a save point or something. I don't want to do this whole like 3 hallways again.
Well, he did cast Reflect on himself at one point and during my fight, which I was really pissed about.
Oh,
so I had
interesting.
to like just start wailing on with physical attacks and summons, I guess, which you cannot reflect a summon.
Yeah, I was very glad. I casted Leviathan at one point. I was like, oh shit, maybe that'll like. I mean, he's a summon and he's using Mega Flare, and I can reflect it, so maybe he can also reflect.
You're right.
And I was like, oh no, like it still hit, but yeah, basically just use those lunar curtains that you picked up to get everyone in your party reflected, and then pretty much just finish the fight. Like. I think you might have some other moves that can knock you down, but again, Phoenix down. Check.
Okay. Well, that doesn't sound too bad.
Did you get this far, Erin?
Oh, yeah.
In some versions, I think Reflect gets used up after 2 Mega Flares, and he's pretty quick, but I didn't notice that in mine, so mine might be easier because of that.
Did you all notice the one other place that's on the moon?
I did notice it, but I didn't make my way there.
Oh yeah, what's there?
There is a little inside of a plateau. There's a very, very tiny area that you can land the Lunar Whale at, and it's almost like the size of the Lunar Whale, so it's kind of hard to see, right? But if you land there and you go in the cave that's there, you can find where the naming way comes from.
Yeah,
the town of naming ways, except they're called Hummingways. I guess that's like the race name is Hummingway.
What?
And in the SNES version, nothing happens here. It's just very cute, and you can change your name.
I guess it's just like the additional lore of being like, oh, okay, so Naming Way is a creature from the moon.
Yeah, there's that. So I don't know that there's anything else there, honestly.
Yeah, it just says the party encounters the Hummingway after traveling to the Red Moon. Oh, we are on the Red Moon, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Though they do not advance the story, the Hummingway provide the only item shop on the lunar surface. As well, to give an explanation for Naming Way's appearance on Earth, which I don't know.
Poochie was an alien? I guess.
Naming Way died on the way back to his home planet.
Did you rename any of your characters, Erin?
I am a devout no renamer. Like everybody gets their default names. Unless it's Cool Ranch if I'm playing Final Fantasy VII for the 80th time.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Actually, that's a lie. Or Nanaki for Red 13.
Okay,
oh, hell
sure.
yeah.
That's the only one I ever rename.
I feel like that's a like subset of people or people who will rename Red to Nanaki.
Yeah, it's definitely like one of the first things I noticed about being mentally ill.
I remember one time when I was a kid, going back to me being a kid playing way too much Ocarina of Time, I named myself Naburo. So that way, when I talked to Naburo at the end of the game in the Spirit Temple, and young Link, she'll be like, "Wait, what's your name? That's a stupid name." And I'm like, "Ha ha!
Got you.
You have the stupid name."
Got him. That's amazing.
I might have spelled it wrong though, so I was like, "Fuck."
That's also a very specific subset of people.
Did we come back to the moon later?
We do.
Okay, good. Because I was like, oh no, did I miss my opportunity to get the rainbow pudding from Flan Princess? But I guess we'll be back to get that.
Yeah, we'll be back.
I need that rainbow pudding.
Well, so I said earlier that we're kind of like locked in for a good while, but we're not like, this is not the point of no return. Like we are allowed to like eventually get back to wandering the world map and everything. It's just that the next area is now locked in once we've gotten.
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So shall we disembark from the moon?
Yeah.
Think we'll disembark from the moon and maybe we'll leave the next cutscene for next time.
Yeah, unless you wanted to talk about something particular to that, Erin.
No, I just wanted to go to the moon.
Nice. Yeah, because there is a lot to unpack in this next cutscene that's pretty short, but I was just like, oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah. That was the moon.
Yeah. That was the moon. We've gone to the moon. The one place untouched by capitalism.
Erin, you're definitely welcome to come back to the moon with us if you want.
Anytime. Whenever I guest, I catch myself doing the same thing I do when I actually listen to the podcast, which I do at work generally, and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm just hanging out with my friends. I'm having a social.
Everyone who listens to this podcast is absolutely a friend of ours.
Nice.
And our best friends are the ones who rate this podcast 5 stars. and
Five-star friend.
And those who fight 5 stars.
That's right. Yeah, so next time we will be doing the Giant of Babel. Which, spoiler alert, we're trying to prevent the Giant of Babel from being revived. The next episode is the Giant of Babel, so if that lets you know anything about how that goes.
Please, no steppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, think about what happened anytime we tried to prevent anything from happening, and you'll know what happens.
Dude, we just need that one
Spoiler
W.
alert, it's very Evangelion next episode.
Yeah. Erin, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at KAOPHYRE. More importantly, you can listen to my podcast that I do with my friend Alan. It is Those Who Fight. It is a Final Fantasy VII book club style podcast. We've only been on hiatus for a year and a half since COVID started, basically. But I swear to God, we're going to get back to it eventually.
But when you guys get back,
yeah. No, actually, I have some, I'm going to do some, I think we're going to do video content and stuff along with it too. So I want to do something
sick.
like a bigger, for disc 2.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, great podcast. It was so
Absolutely.
great listening to it. I can't wait for it to come back.
Oh, thank
But
you.
no pressure. Because
It also
life
was
is a
like,
nightmare.
oh no, we made it. Someone from another podcast is calling us out or whatever.
Someone from another better podcast.
I feel like we've multiple times described it on our podcast as like our podcast if we knew what we were talking about.
No.
It's like we could talk about, Sakaguchi's like process with coming up with all of these important themes and stuff, or we could just bring up Alien Ant Farm for no fucking reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's funny because that's what I want in my off time. I'm like, please talk about Alien Ant Farm. I don't care about religious bullshit. Just make an emo reference, please.
Maybe we should combine forces sometime and do like an amp versus amp podcast.
Yeah. We do like
So you guys can talk theory at us, and we can just make poop jokes.
We'll do like what some like challenge speedrunners will do, right? Where they'll have like the controller shuffler, where like people will play Mario.
Oh, God.
And like every 30 seconds it switches to another player, and they have to control Mario now. We'll do like a switcher podcast where like we're all on at the same time, but every 30 seconds it changes who's being recorded.
I'm too stoned to record a regular podcast normally, man.
How about you boys? Where can people find y'all? Who are you?
You can find me on Twitter, but why would you want to? You can find me on Twitch. As always, I spend way too much time playing Souls games. I'll be doing the Speed Souls charity marathon coming up on starting November 4th, going through until November 7th. I'll be doing some hosting here and there. And I'll also be doing Demon Souls for the relay. Kicking off the relay.
Fantastic.
Hopefully not digging a hole that my team can't get out of for the entirety of the rest of the 12 games that are going through, but it should be fun.
Hell yeah.
Carl, all y'all's are a good follow. I enjoy your content.
How dare you? How dare you say that?
Congratulations on still having a world record at Demon Tower.
Yeah, thank you. I cannot believe it. I think I cursed myself by putting it out there that I might put it on YouTube.
Maybe it's not cool anymore.
It might not be. The first time I put my world record on YouTube, I was so excited. I was like, it took me a couple of days or whatever. Started typing up like the description. I was like, you know what? I should direct people to the speedrun.com page for it. So that way, if they want to start learning the run or whatever, that, they have that resource there. And I went to speedrun.com, checked the link, like making sure it was correct, checked the link, and then saw that someone had beaten my record as I was up there. So I had to change the world record to former world record. And I was like, fuck.
Original.
So, I'm wondering
original
if that'll
video.
happen.
OG.
Yeah.
You did it first though, so and then if in many ways that actually makes you faster.
I was the first one to beat the year-old world record from when people stopped running it for the first time.
And yeah, I'm Malform, MAL4M on Twitter, and you'll see me in Twitch chats. I don't stream. I'm too busy editing the podcast and trying to do less. I'm trying to do less work, honestly.
Hell yeah.
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 That's
Don't expect to see me on Twitch anytime soon, unless I have like a big project or something. That I'm like, I'm going to share this with everyone else.
Hey, I see you in the chat.
Yeah.
You can find Malform in the chat.
My favorite thing is when people realize how to say your name, or when someone like
I know
is like, "Yo, what's up, Malform?" and everyone's like, "Wait, I was saying Malum."
I do like Sigrid and Bird say Malam, and it's very cute.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and you can find me at Twitch TV/Twirl and Curtis, or on Twitter under the same name. And I kind of want to do some Final Fantasy VII speedrunning. I might start learning that. We'll see. Tentative.
I also owe everyone one of those.
Not until you finish your 100 RPGs, buddy.
yeah. That's so many, though. I did look at the Okage Shadow King speedrun, and it seems incredibly doable, but kind of boring. So I don't know that I'm going to do it. But
yeah,
it kind of is just like hold forward and press X.
Fun.
Anyway, Alex,
would you like to put us into the core and tuck us in until the listeners have evolved to a point where we can communicate with them?
Thank you again to Night of the Round for the theme music. Thank you to Nobuo Uematsu, or Nobuo Umachino, and Mijini Nakano, and Kenichiro Fukui. Leave us a review on iTunes. It helps get us noticed up on the ranking boards, I think. I'm not sure how that works. People find us somehow. Leave us a voicemail at 530-MATERIA. It's always great to hear from all of you. You can find us at EveryFNFF on Twitter, Instagram, our Discord, and our YouTube. And Curtis was fascinated by this planet and wished to know more of it. And while he was here, he fell in love with content creating of this planet. He later bore 2 podcasts, and one of them was this.
Goodbye.
Hold on, I gotta find an end quote before I start. Oh, geez.
Also, Erin, thank you so much for being on. It's always the best time when you're guesting.
Oh my God, thank you. It's a pleasure. I wish I'd worked less so that I could do this more often.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
That's life, baby.
There was recently a thread on Twitter that I read like 3 tweets of before I just like laughed it off, about someone talking about radical leftists and why they all speedrun or something.
Oh my God, I read that too.
That's the best. Yeah. Oh my God, I like.
Okay, like they want to go faster. They don't want to like work hard and stuff. It's like, yeah, who the fuck wants to work hard? Also, speedrunning is way harder than casual running.
A lot of times those fucking like lame ass like right wing takes on like Marcia, it puts me in like a doom brain state, right? Where I'm like, no, just burn it all. We deserve it. It's done. But that one actually made my day so good. Like, I read that and I was like, this rules. This is the most hilarious thing I've ever read in my life.
What a take.
Like, what a fucking take.
The best galaxy brain.
I will never not be able to think about the words in succession. Sexual archetype fastest Mario. That is the funniest 4 words you could ever put together.
Is that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pentameter?
That's right.
Sexual archetype.
Yeah, the SAFM.
I just can't get
Sexual
over
archetype fastest Mario.
I can't get over the use of Petersonian.
Yeah, Petersonian.
Everyone should try to be more like Jordan Peterson. I assume that's who that dipshit was talking about.
Dude,
he is also a dipshit.
Every bit of it is art. It's incredible. I love it. I love every bit of that take. It's amazing. Like the idea where he was like, you learn these strategies, and to what end? So that somebody else can beat them. Like, so that somebody else will learn them and beat them. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, has this guy heard of sports? Yes. Like, does he know what sports are?
You should create a life-saving vaccine that you then patent and don't give to the rest of the world, because capitalism is good.
He said where are patents in this process? You should be able to patent. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, because like, what's the alternative? Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, that's why I was coming up with sports. I was like, what do you think you do in that? Like, you compete to win, and like sometimes you don't. It's like, what the God, dude, you know what the worst thing? Here's the thing. Okay, I'm sorry. Here I go. It's gonna be super short though, I promise.
Who knows?
Here's the thing,
because this is gonna be up. 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I didn't think that
we will make sure that sexual archetype Fastest Mario stays relevant for the next 2 weeks. Don't you worry.
The thing I was thinking, like, the thing that kills me, right, is that, like, you know, we're all of a certain age that, like, ever since we were children, we've been like very dystopia brained, where we're like, yeah, no, it's all gonna end in our lifetime. It's fine.
Oh yeah,
like we've all like made our peace with that and everything. The one thing that I don't like about it, like the part that really bothers me, is it's the most embarrassing fucking people in the world who are actually gonna kill us all. Like,
yeah, that's what makes me mad.
I know it can't be some like evil shadow government thing. It has to be just like the most embarrassing fucking dorks ever.
The biggest fucking Poindexters in the world who regularly like tweet about how they can't make their wife come and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And they're the ones who are going to kill us all.
They're just always telling on themselves of how fucking lame they are.
My favorite thing about that tweet, other than that it was a 15 tweets. 15! Someone's immediate comment was, why don't you speedrun this into a single tweet?
Dude, one of my favorites was somebody just responded, yo, bro, that's crazy. Check this out, though. And it was just like a small video of them speedrunning like a game. Like a stage from like Mario. And they were like, yo, that's wild. Look at this, though. Why don't you speedrun this into a single tweet? God, incredible. Damn.
No, that has to stay.
Yeah, that was. I was like, they need to take the Mona Lisa down from the Louvre and like put this up in its place.
Get this eyebrowless bitch out of here! Rolling this tweet.
Yeah, exactly. They make you stand 10 feet away from it, and you can't take pictures of it.
It's too important.
It's too important.
Oh my God. All right. Well, on that note, thank you guys.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna probably just stick that after the credits or some shit.
Oh, yeah. if you want to. How about my brother Cluya made the long trip to the Blue Planet? He introduced the concept of podcast to your people.